My name's Martyn and 10 years ago you might have seen me in Cardiff being peeled off lampposts or picked up off streets, and now 10 years on I pick people up off streets. For a number of years my life revolved around my village rugby club. I was heavily involved with the club coaching and organising children's rugby, but along with that came all the other things with rugby, the drinking, and I was the ringleader. I was, you know, as we got to youth age and the boys got old enough, unfortunately and sadly, I taught them to drink. They put me on a pedestal. They used to call me the beer monster, you know, and I was drinking several cans and at least a bottle of wine every night, and on the weekend it was a mission, and you know, as much as I could drink. And so, you know, when looking back on it, you know, I look at people who have alcohol problems, and although I might not have called myself an alcoholic, my life did revolve around alcohol. It was just going downhill, really. What happened to me 10 years ago, I was on holidays in Tenerife, and my wife, who'd been a Christian all her life, went into a church to pray, so I went along with her, and I prayed, and mainly for Wales to beat Ireland the next day at rugby, and that was about it. And then the next day I found myself in the Irish bar, which was next door to the church, and we lost, so there must have been more Irish praying that day. Anyway, an elderly lady came into that pub, and she came in for a cup of tea. I just poured my heart out to her. She said she was a widow. She talked about how material things in life didn't matter. I told her all the things I did wrong. She just touched me, and we walked her back, put her on the bus, and I just turned to my wife and said, I don't know what it is about that lady. I said, something about that, and I don't know what it is, and I can't put my finger on it. And all the rest of that week it bothered me, and even though my wife had been praying, she never said, oh, you know, it's God trying to get hold of you. And then towards the end of the week she gave me a book to read, which a fictional book based around the book of Revelation. And you know, I know it's fiction, but there were biblical truths in there, I know now, and I just wanted to know more about God. And the next day we travelled home. By the time I got off the bus, I just felt I needed to acknowledge the Lord. My wife arranged me to speak to an elder from a local church, and even from that first conversation I had with him, I felt I needed to get baptised. I thought that was a sign that, you know, a public sign that I had to give to people, to say that, you know, I've given my life to the Lord. And lo and behold, 3 months actually on Pentecost, I got baptised. And the day after I got baptised, I was sitting having breakfast, and I just felt God say to me, I want you to work with people who have alcohol problems or alcohol-related problems. So I thought, that's fair enough. If that's the case, I'd better not drink anymore. So there and then I stopped drinking, and I haven't had a drink for 10 years. For the next 2 or 3 years, I felt God was training me for different things. I did voluntary work with alcoholics and things. And then about 6 years ago, the advert for street pastors dropped on my desk. And I thought, yeah, you know, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what God's really been calling me to do. And really, the rest is history. Now I wander around the streets of Cardiff with my colleagues on a Friday and Saturday night, peeling people off lampposts and picking them up off floors and helping them. And, you know, that's, you know, just praise the Lord.